Hey guys, Robert here with the Piston channel, and today I'd like to talk to you about McCall. So, you may be asking, well, let's first off say McCall, Idaho, so you guys got an idea where we're at and what you're watching. Originally, a friend of mine that's in the video wanted to ride McCall, but wanted to stay to the single track and to limit his exposure to Forest Service roads. I get it, it's his preference, he wants to be on the single track. Obviously you've seen this year I've been riding a lot of single track and I've been riding with him. So moving on, I'm with the Idaho Adventure Riders and I was going to say let's hit a couple challenge points. So I built a route that encompassed a couple of the single track there in the McCall area and did a little bit of YouTube searching for single track in McCall. And what little bit of single track I could find was more like the nice sweeping flowing single track that we all envision that would just be so awesome, you know, third, fourth gear, 30-40 miles an hour, just having a ball. Not what I encountered today, so that's a little bit of a spoiler there. So the first challenge point that I was headed to was Hazard Lake, or Upper Hazard Lake. It's one of the hazard lakes over in that area, and we started over by the Upper Payette Lake area. We rode, the first trail was called Center Ridge Trail, and later we found out that one of the hill climbs, or one of the areas, a Forest Service guy had called it Man Hill or something like that. So for you guys that ride the McCall area, maybe you know where I'm at, what I'm talking about. So yeah, it was everything that I wasn't expecting is what McCall threw at me. A totally different type of single track riding than what I'm accustomed to, and I've ridden like the Idaho City area, the area around Boise here, and Featherville area as well. But
Holy shit.
for something that's only 2 to 3 hours away, it was amazing
Right.
just the dynamics of the trail system and how much it's changed. So moving on, first stop was supposed to be Hazard Lake via Center Ridge Trail, and then Scribner, and I think Lava Ridge
I may have
Trail.
cursed a little bit.
And I'm saying that to you, some of you guys are probably
Hold
like,
on,
yeah,
I'm
well,
not to
I don't
call
know
on
what
you.
that is. But if you're following along on a trail map system, you'll be able to look and see. Halfway down the trail on Center Ridge, we ran into another group of riders, and the guy was like, well, you've never ridden McCall, have you? Yeah, no, I haven't. This is my first time up here riding the McCall area on a single track. So he was like, how far are you going? And I said, well, that's first stop, and then the second one was over to another place called Crystal Mountain. The roundabout day was supposed to be about 51 miles of single track with, I think, about a quarter mile of Forest Service road in there to connect one trail. He kind of laughed at us, or me, because I'm the one that built the map and was the navigator for the day. Saying, you've never ridden McCall? I may have said that already, but he goes, you're not going to make one or the other if you're planning on doing it in one day. He's like, I hope you brought a tent or something, because it's different. And about that point in time, we also realized that the trail system just wasn't what we had found on the internet. So some of the sights and stuff from the climb on Center Ridge was very beautiful. You get up on the top and you could look down into the center lake, I believe is what it was called, and then off the backside, heading to the east towards a trail called Scribner. The trail got really interesting as well. Some switchbacks and stuff like that. Nothing really like crazy, but just the scenery was just phenomenal. So we met the other riders at an actual downed log that we struggled getting over. And when I say downed log, this thing was probably 3.5 foot to 4. Well, no, 4 is an exaggeration. 3.5 foot tall. I mean, it was above my bars. So we got the KTM over, got the DRZ over it, and then we could hear these guys just ripping through the forest. And I'm like, oh, thank God the trail's going to open up. We're going to get up to some speed. You know, this bike's overheating, and I wasn't overheating, but the KTM was. But, you know, needless to say, just getting and moving, you know, our average speed for the day was like right around 1.5 to 2 miles an hour. I mean, it's like walking speed. So, hearing these guys kind of ripping through the force coming at us was just a sign of excitement. And of course they come up and they hit that log, and I mean they went over that log like it wasn't even there, just popped right over it. Next rider comes up over it, next rider. I think there was 4 of them. Just like pros, something you'd see like in an enduro cross or something. And we had that chat with them, and they were like, yeah, you're not going to be able to do 51 miles in a day up here. So moving on, the trail actually opened up just a little bit, was a little bit faster moving. We found a really cool not air base, like an airport up there where they'd like open up the forced area to bring in aircraft or whatever they need to do up there. I don't know what for, but pretty neat. And you're crossing those fields, dude. So you got to navigate the fields to find the trail because it's not really clearly marked. And part of this going into it was the guy said that the trail system, Lava Ridge, was really hard to navigate because he goes, you're riding on lava rock and stuff like that, so there's not really a clear-cut track. He goes, so you'll spend a little bit of time of backtracking or looking and trying to stay on point with that. So moving from that, we kind of abandoned the Hazard Lake challenge point, and we said, let's just try to make it to Crystal Mountain. So on Scribner, instead of going to the east, we ended up going from going west on Scribner, we went to the east, heading towards Jenkins Crossing there. And that's when we ran into the Forest Service that were kind of advising us some of the stuff. He says, oh yeah, there's just you'll switch back down the side of the hill there, across Jenkins, and then back up and across, and you'll be good to go. So then the day got really, really good. It's not very often that you see me wreck on my YouTube channel. I mean, it does happen, but not very often. So we were heading down, and I can't remember if it was Scribner or what it was, but we were coming into Jenkins Crossing, and the switchbacks going left, going right. I was struggling, and maybe a couple of them, you only had 8 inches, and you were gonna slide off the side of the trail down into the next trail below you, or it was pretty tight in that area. And I normally don't have a lot of problems with exposure, but this one was kind of messing with my mind a little bit. And then I found that when I got into the switchback, I would hit the brake or do whatever and try to bring the bike around to go down the hill. And I'd either step off the bike and dump it, or I'd crash. And doing it repeatedly down these switchbacks, it just took its toll to the point where when I got to the bottom across Jenkins Landing, I was actually coming up the other side. And I was going up a switchback instead, and I went to clutch and throttle it around the corner, and as I brought it around, the front tire smacked a rock and actually sent me back down the switchback. And thank God it wasn't like crazy, but took a pretty good hit. So after that fall or crash, it kind of rattled my bell pretty good. I'm exhausted, my riding buddy's exhausted by this point, and we just decide we're going to take French Creek regardless of what the Forest Service guy told us. So we made that decision to take French Creek south to the truck, back to the cabin area, which we found on the way in. We didn't realize there was actually a cabin back there. But, it was pretty much a real skill builder. So, yeah, we call it 26 miles of hell. Just because it was rough, and I can't wait to do it again. I know if that sounds weird, like some of the stuff that we just in the moment you really hate it, but at any given time, would I really want to be anywhere else? I loved it. I can't wait to go back, and maybe next time I can improve upon what I've done. So I hope you guys like the video. My name's Robert with the Piston Slap channel. If it spiked your interest or whatever, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Lets me know you guys like what I'm showing you. Again, my name's Robert with the Piston Slap channel. We'll catch you guys on the next one.